All right. Hey, KK, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, Caroline. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm so glad to be out here with you in North Carolina. As all of you guys know, this is our first in-person CO pod, so it's incredibly special that we get to do it here with KK and with some other guests that you'll hear from later this week. So,
And I feel so honored. And thank you so much for making the trip all the way out from California. I mean, this is amazing. And to do it in person, I'm just so honored. So
yes.
thank you so much again.
So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So I'd love to know a little bit more about your background, who you are, and how did you even get to where you are now?
Well, crazy story. So I'm originally from Connecticut and just right outside of New York City. So I was always enamored with Wall Street. So I was kind of born and bred to take that path, obviously, when I grew up. So I actually ended up running a hedge fund in the city, but it was primarily focused on development projects. So I did a lot in the hospitality world.
Oh.
So I did, I obviously raised all the equity since I knew a lot of people from Connecticut. So again, it was my private hedge fund that I ran. Then obviously the crash happened in 2007, 8. And I was like, I'm kind of tired of this. I was burnt out, living in the city. And I was like, I need to do something more because I love people. And I was more behind the scenes doing money. And I was like, no, I need to be out with people. So I have always loved design. And it's funny, growing up as a kid, I would literally rechange my room all the time, move the furniture around, always designing stuff.
Yeah.
So crazy story, I went back to see friends in the Netherlands, and then we flew to Sardinia for a vacation for 2 weeks. So here I am on the Mediterranean, and my friends were like, KK, you have such a great eye for design. Start your own A&D firm, architect and design firm. And they said, you know everybody in the hotel industry. So because, I was raising capital for them. And I was like, you know what? What a great idea. Yeah. So I did. And I started KK Interior Design Group. So I ran that for 14 years. Very successful. Did a lot of projects, internationally.
Oh, wow.
So did a lot of projects in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Indonesia, London. So, and again, of course, Charlotte, North Carolina. Did a lot of, so again, I was focused really on boutique hotels, restaurants, breweries. That was my specialty. Since I've always been a connector with people, I used to do little KK socials.
Ooh.
So during COVID, what I actually did, because we were only allowed to have 6 people in a room, is I actually did little private KK socials at my house. So I vetted each person out because I don't tolerate cattiness or arrogance. So I wanted people to feel comfortable, and build genuine relationships.
Yeah.
So I actually started doing that, and I would host those every couple weeks. I do wine and cheese, charcuterie boards.
Love charcuterie.
But again, I selected each individual, and it made sense with the right people in the group.
Yeah.
And then CCC came into fruition about 2 years ago because, again, having my own firm, I was involved with so many different organizations, but I just kept seeing the same people, and I wasn't getting any business out of it. It was great. I had a lot of friends, but, I could go out and drink wine with anybody anytime. I don't need to, do all this and go to these organizations when I'm not really benefiting.
Exactly.
And, really developing strong relationships. So CCC, I was, when I found out about it, I was like, oh my God, I want to get involved. And, fortunately enough, I became the owner and president of Charlotte, CCC, and then became the owner and president of Raleigh. And just through my connections from the industry that I've had, I've been very blessed because I already knew everybody. I knew everybody from the commercial real estate world and construction, since I worked with most of them in the past personally on projects. So I vet everybody out because I tell people it's about good vibes. I want to, let's make business personal again. Put people together, the right people, the right mix in the room.
Yeah.
And because, I don't believe in transactional, cattiness, arrogance. I want just genuine connections that people feel comfortable to attend my events.
Yes.
And, now, there's 21 chapters of CCC throughout the United States. And my 2 chapters are really the most successful too.
Wow. For our audience, for anyone that doesn't know, what is CCC?
So CCC is Contractors, Closers, and Connections. So it's a private invite only group. I don't charge membership fees. So I don't do that because again, I do 4 speaker panel events a year, and it's for the who's who in the commercial real estate industry and construction industry. So it's all the elite C-level executives. Primarily, it's your decision makers. These are the people you want to be in the room with. You're going to get business done with them. And it's about the personal connections. So again, I limit the amount of people. I vet each attendee out because I want to make sure they fit the vibe that, obviously this is my platform and I want to create, a safe space for, everybody in our industry and make real connections.
Yeah, I think, safe spaces and, especially, we're here talking about Women in Construction Week. And I feel like, construction has always been a male dominated industry. And especially, for a lot of us women out there, it's hard to find those safe places.
Correct. No, and I could not agree more. That's why, I'm the only female owner of CCC of my 2 chapters.
Oh, wow.
So to me, it's really important because I understand, being a female in the industry, because let me tell you, back when I had my hedge fund, I was pretty much the only female in the market.
Oh, yeah.
So I've seen the transition. We still have a ways to go as females, but, if I can be an ambassador, a leader, a voice for the females in the construction and commercial real estate industry to help others and just kind of break more ground for us and move forward and, just empower people.
I think that's so important as well. And, when we talk about this, we always talk about, the missing gaps, the improvement that still needs to be made for us in the industry. But what are you seeing like as some of the big wins right now for women in construction?
Well, I tell you, obviously, NAWIC is amazing. Love that group. I think what they're doing is just so empowering with women. And also, too, I think it's really important, mentorship programs.
Yes.
So, when I had my A&D firm, I always mentored, college students. So I did a lot of work with App State. So I always had interns come. I would have 1 or 2 during the summer. Because again, I want to help them. And it's easier to do when they're young.
Yes.
Because they're very impressionable at that age. And teach them the good habits. And just, pave the way for them. Make them feel comfortable.
And especially being that young, being, sort of a minority in this industry,
Correct.
those opportunities can be hard to come by sometimes.
Yes.
So having, associations such as CCC, I feel is so important, especially to those opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. And also, too, at CCC, I actually have, younger generations that come to my event. I have a really, really good mix.
I love that.
So, because, again, I want to empower women in our industry. And, my events are pretty much 50-50.
Yeah.
So, again, because I vet each person out, I want to make sure they're viable. They fit my,
Yeah.
my platform with what I'm trying to
Exactly.
create here.
Yeah.
And I just want good, good people and just, help women in the industry.
Awesome. And I think I'm going to switch this a little bit from CCC. I really want to talk about your design work as well and kind of, what that relationship looks like between designers, between contractors. So from your perspective, what does a successful owner, designer, contractor relationship look like? What's necessary for that?
Communication.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I
Number
knew
one.
it.
I am one of the most organized human beings. I literally would spend so much time. I would always meet with the general contractor, with the owner. We were always on the same page. So there was never any mix up. I literally gave them all the information on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our lead times, obviously for products that I had specified, it could be a 6 to 8 month lead time. So I provided everybody all the information, obviously whom the supplier was, their contact information. Just there's, I always tell people more information is better than not enough. Like I would rather overdo it than under, over communicate. And also you've got to be present with the GCs. They're up at 7 a.m. They're already on the job site.
Oh, yeah.
So they would call me 7 a.m. KK, we've got a problem. This is not available. So we'd have to pivot literally at the second, in a second. And I would notify them within 15 minutes, pick out an alternative product.
Yeah.
So again, it's really just you've got to be communicating.
Yeah.
So to me, number one is communication.
And in that communication, the honesty and transparency goes so far.
And also listen, There's no project that's perfect. It just does not exist. So to me, the relationship, you've got to be open with that person, and you've got to have a perfect relationship with them, and say, hey, guess what? We screwed up.
Yeah.
But just take it and run with it, and let's fix it.
Yeah. Bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet. You just have to
admit,
own up to what you've done.
Yeah.
Because I made mistakes. We're all human. My gosh. And it's just what you do with it. Be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah. And, we're talking about, what a good relationship looks like. But, what are one or two common misses that you see on these projects, in that relationship, in that communication? What are some of those misses that you see as well?
They don't look at my finished schedule.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's happened more times than you can imagine. Literally. And it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, how? And they're like, oh, we never got it. I'm like, no, you did. I was like, here, I resend it. And so I think, the construction side, they need to, work more closely, not look at us as a design firm. It's like they've got to work with us as a partnership.
Awesome. And then just to finish this podcast out, I have a really fun question for you. I promise it's not going to be hard. Don't worry. But what is a habit or a practice that you've implemented into your life to help you become a more successful leader?
Oh, this is an easy one. Everybody knows this about me. I am a very early riser. I'm usually up at 4 a.m. and that is just my habit. I just wake up naturally. I've got energy, and I'm so focused in the morning. That's when all my ideas come.
Yeah.
So even like with my design ideas for CCC, how we can expand it, grow it. So that's really my creativity time. And it's my time for myself because nobody bothers me. And I don't have emails at 4 a.m, but people will be getting emails from me between 4 and 6. They know that.
I have gotten some.
Yes. And no, but honestly, just to me, that practice works because then I can do the rest of the day, spend time with people, and go to my meetings, do my Zoom calls, my in-person, do my wine events. And just to me, it's just more of a feel good. I'm just a morning person, and I get a lot of stuff done.
I never used to be a morning person, and now I am, and I feel the exact same way. It feels like all the creative juices are flowing. My brain is screwed on right after 2 coffees, but it's so interesting because it's such a quiet time.
It is,
but in my head, it's crazy time. Like it's work time.
Right. Oh no, but I've got my candles. Yes. I always have scented candles. I do my meditation, have my coffee. But it just sets the tone for the day, and then the whole day is just magical.
I love that. And that's your 2026 word.
That is my 2026 word, magical. And thank you so much, Caroline, for this opportunity. This was such a pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much for being here with me. It's always so great to have a friend come on these. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for making the trip to North Carolina.
Yes. Awesome. And for all of you guys, we'll see you on our next episode of CO Pod. Nice. Yeah.